What's going on, y'all? This is the Bidnezz, and welcome to another segment of the Bidnezz Says. Today's topic is equality / the heterosexual privilege, specifically in the music, because that's what I do, independent recording artist in this business. Now, just because we as homosexual people who are artists decide to talk about the same sex, liking the same sex, being in love with the same sex, blah, 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 we're thrown onto the side in a box, in a category, away from the mainstream light. Because that's the way society has been conditioned, taught, environment, all of that, to view us as negative in many lights. We're making strides, but it's not good enough, especially not when it comes to the music and being in the mainstream. People in the music are covering up themselves and doing the mainstream thing and going along with the flow, having to be kind of ashamed, at least in the spotlight of who they, just because of the sexuality of liking the same sex. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. You know, as a society, of course, heterosexual people don't get thrown to the side because they're talking about the opposite sex and shit. Would that make any sense to you? No. So it should be the same thing for the other side. And if we as homosexual people have to, or, transgender, whatever, who we as homosexual people specifically have to sit here and listen day after day, year after year, whatever, of y'all singing about the opposite sex, that we don't like, do we sit here and get offensive and go, No. Some of y'all out there seem to think that because you're heterosexual and the way the society has set things up, that that's the way it's supposed to be anyway. That's what it is. And the homosexual people really are nothing really. Second class, sin shamed, or an abomination or whatnot. For some of you out there, y'all think that's a nice handful of you in countries who think that completely with a grand unison. You know what I'm saying? Makes no sense. No. If we have to sit there and listen to, boy, I love you from the opposite sex, and girl, I love you, and smack that ass and all that, and talk about bitches and hoes and shit like that, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We deserve the same right to be heard talking about the same sex. Point blank in a motherfucking period. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't have took a heterosexual artist, or I should say, no, an artist who is heterosexual, to talk about an LGBT issue, which is so deep, and same love, to be in the mainstream. It should be one of us, ourselves, speaking up for ourselves and talking about, loving the same sex and doing what everybody else is doing. We deserve that same equal right. We are not lesser because of how society has been brought up and conditioned to think. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. That shit's cut out. You know what I'm saying? It is up to us to be able to be on that radio talking about this stuff ourselves, not somebody else who's not even in our shoes talking and singing about it, which is great. It has to start somewhere, but I feel like we're still further behind. There are other countries, I believe, that are further than us. Actually, I know for a fact. But at this day and age right now, when it comes to the equality in the music business, we as artists, homosexual or heterosexual, should be on that radio together regardless. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, basically that's the point I have to make right there. It's equality. It's not about one-sided bullshit of the heterosexual privilege or any of that motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. It is not right. It's bullshit. All right. It's not like we get called hetero. We get a homosexual title on everything that we do, which is pigeonholed and labeled and thrown to the right. Homosexual music, homosexual genre, throw it to the left, blah, blah, blah. Homosexual artists, gay artists, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. Do we call y'all heterosexual artists? No, we do not. So if y'all don't got a title of heterosexual artists, heterosexual music, we as human beings who happen to be homosexual should not be labeled as homosexual artists, genre, or whatever, thrown because we decide to talk about the same sex or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. So that's all I had to say. I'm on my soapbox about that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's time for people who happen to be homosexual to be up on that radio just as well as anybody else. Not labeled, not covered up, not pigeonholed or, accepted because somehow lesbianism may be a little more accepted, much more accepted in this country, in America at least. It's much more accepted. It's not accepted. It's more accepted by men than somebody like me who's homosexual. You know what I'm saying? It's more accepted. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, that's all I had to say. And that's where I stand. And that's where I believe a lot of us stand out there who are not afraid to stand up, speak up, and raise our voices, all right? This is going on a little too long, but this is an important issue that I felt I had to speak about. But I'll see you guys next time, all right?